Cash-strapped low-cost carrier MYAirline's major shareholder, Dato' Yaacob Khyra, is willing to relinquish all his shareholding in the airline, according to Interim Accountable Executive Director Dato' Sri Azharuddin Abdul Rahman. He told this to reporters at a press conference held today, the first it's held since MYAirline abruptly suspended its operations last Thursday. According to Azharuddin, MYAirline is actively exploring strategic partnerships and have received several proposals which are currently going through detailed evaluation and due diligence. When asked for a timeline if the airline were to shut down if negotiations fail, Azharuddin said that the airline is positive that it will get back its licenses but didn't promise a timeline. MYAirline has also pledged to refund the 125,000 passengers who had purchased tickets prior to the suspension, saying that it will be done once it secures potential investors and gets new funding. Total refunds are estimated at 22 million ringgit based on ticket sales. Azharuddin acknowledged the airline's error and says that they understand the frustration experienced by its passengers, especially those that were left stranded at the airport, and admit there was a lack of contingencies due to the 11th hour pullout by its investor. He also admitted to MYAirline's communication shortcomings with both the Malaysian Aviation Commission and the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, specifically its failure to engage with authorities and passengers in a timelier manner before deciding to temporarily suspend its operations. Likewise, Azharuddin said MYAirline staff will receive their prioritized statutory payments and September salaries once a new investor is secured and funding is obtained. MYAirline currently employs more than 900 people. He maintains that all employees remain under employment and that no one has been placed on unpaid leave or terminated. When asked how much the airline needs to pay back all salaries and refunds to restart its flight operations, Azharuddin said millions. Meanwhile, the CAAM has suspended the air operator certificate of MYAirline for 90 days from Monday, pending further investigations into the troubled airline. Deputy Transport Minister Dato' Hasbi Habibullah told Parliament today that the 2-year extension of the AOC by the CAAM was based on a technical audit carried out in May. An analysis was also conducted by MAVCOM as recently as October 3rd, during which MYAirline did not show signs of financial issues that warranted the suspension of its operations, according to Hasbi. Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry Tunku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz has assured that there will be no changes in the prices of products in the industry sector when the sales and service tax is raised next year from 6% to 8%, but adds that the ministry will continue to monitor the impact of the implementation on the sector. Zafrul said the government has a fiscal responsibility to increase its revenue and that it is important for the industry to understand why Putrajaya is taking such a decision. The government is expecting an additional revenue of 3 billion ringgit from the increase in SST, according to reports. Aside from the higher rate, the scope of the SST will also be widened to include logistics services, brokerage and underwriting, as well as karaoke, while F&B and telecommunications are excluded. He was talking to reporters at the sidelines of the roundtable dialogue discussing the new Industrial Master Plan 2030 hosted by MIDF. On NIMP 2030, Zafrul said MITI is working to get as many local industries as possible to participate in the national strategic direction in order for the companies to reap the benefits of the spillover effects. Following K&M Group's EGM today, the group's chairman, Tunku Dato' Yaacob Khyra, has won the majority support of shareholders to continue with his leadership and deliver on his turnaround strategy. In a statement, Tunku Yaacob thanked all shareholders for their confidence, trust and continued support. He said that the board is heartened by the support from shareholders and wishes to inform them that the board remains fully committed in their efforts to ensure their targets of debt settlement within 9 months through a partial IPO of Borshig, which he says in turn will ensure a profitable and sustainable future for K&M. Notably, he holds a 9.5% indirect stake in the group. To recap, German businessman Andreas Hischen, along with parties acting in concert, are attempting to oust the entire board, including Tengku Yaacob. Meanwhile, Johor Princess Tunku Kamaria Amina Maimuna Iskandaria Sultan Iskandar, who together with Hischen and the group that were aiming for a management takeover of KNM, has come out to denounce the results of the EGM. In a statement, Tunku Kamaria said her group will be calling for an investigation over alleged possible irregularities in the vote count. The Federal Court has dismissed appeals by ex-PM Datuk Sri Najib Razak and his son, Datuk Nazifuddin Najib, against summary judgments compelling the duo to pay 1.69 billion and 37.64 million in tax arrears. Reading out the unanimous decision by the Apex Court's 5-judge bench, Judge Tan Sri Nalini Pathamanathan said they upheld the Court of Appeal and High Court's decision, which ruled that they must pay the amounts owed to the government. She said that father and son were not treated unfairly, and the judgments compelling them to pay the taxes do not contravene Article 8 of the Federal Constitution, which states that all persons are equal before the law and entitled to equal protection, and Article 5.1, which states that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty save in accordance with law. The judge added that the collection of tax is done in the same manner for all citizens of the nation. She says that the duo have not been singled out for discriminatory treatment nor treated in a manner not provided for in the Income Tax Act 1967. She adds that there is no evidential basis on record to support such a contention. The bench then dismissed the appeal with no order as to costs. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission has taken 2 law firms to court in order to compel them to produce documents linked to a settlement agreement between Goldman Sachs and AmBank in relation to the 1MDB scandal. The anti-graft body had filed 2 separate applications, one against lawyer Rosli Dalan and his firm Rosli Dalan Saravanan, and lawyer Chetan Jathwani and his firm Chetan Jathwani and Company, and other respondents. In its application dated October 11th, the MACC said that it was seeking the documents under the firm's custody, care and control to aid in the agency's investigations on allegations that Rosli and Chetan were involved in bribery and money laundering regarding Goldman Sachs' $3.9 billion and AmBank's 2.83 billion ringgit settlement with the Malaysian government over 1MDB. The MACC also said that, among others, the documents were needed to determine if the respondents had colluded with the Wall Street Bank and others in reducing the compensation amount or asset recovery in the Goldman Sachs settlement, and to identify the money flow and layering from the bank's account to accounts of the firms. According to court documents seen by The Edge, the MACC said that it faced obstacles in obtaining the documents. The application against Chetan and his firm came up for case management in the High Court on Monday. In an affidavit, Chetan noted the application and the allegations in the investigations were wholly false and without basis. Meanwhile, when contacted, Rosli said he had yet to be served with the papers as he is currently not in the country. The application against Rosli and his firm comes up on Tuesday.